Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here and welcome to episode 82 of In Focus Friday. Now last week we had a look at the amazing community poured silver Sanchez snake, the Christopher Sanchez snake, really awesome piece. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend you go have a look. All the links are down in the description below. Now you might be noticing in front of us we have a couple of items which very much weren't in the voting last week, but thank you for voting if you did. The Maria Thala was the winner, and you can see it here. It will be featured in next week's episode, so make sure you subscribe and hit notifications if you want to see that next time. But I thought I'd bring you guys a pretty special episode today to interrupt your regular scheduled programming because we have here the new Perth Mint 1 ounce dragon bars. Now, I've picked up one of these silver bars, and the intention was to actually share it with you guys here on In Focus Friday and put it up for the vote, and I thought it would probably win the votes fairly quickly. But then somebody on the group order has ordered the 1 ounce gold version as well. So I thought, what better opportunity than to show them side by side than to have both of these amazing Perth Mint bars here on In Focus Friday. Now the reason I have to do it today as a special programme is because this isn't mine and it has to be shipped off to its new owner, and I only have custody of this for about 24 hours before it goes off. So special episode to feature this gold one. I'm not going to take it out of the capsule and handle it just because it's not mine, and I don't know whether the the intentions of the person is to send it off for grading or anything like that, so I don't want to risk having it damaged, even if handling it with gloves. So it is going to stay within the capsule, all locked in the capsule. But here we have the two of them side by side. Absolutely awesome pieces. So I'm going to put one of them down for now. So let's quickly have a look at the silver one. Silver one here, it looks really good, I have to say. It's 4.9 silver, as you can see on the back here. It is a $1 coin, so this is actually technically a coin, even though it's a kind of traditional investment bar shape. Looks really cool there with the kind of radial pattern behind the queen, but all of the action is on this side, as you've seen. Now the dragon bar, so that's the silver. Let's jump over to the ounce of gold, because boy is this a good one to have a look at. Now the dragon actual design is something we've seen the Perth Mint doing a lot more of recently. They are very much catering, I think, to that kind of Asian market and this kind of Chinese lore and legend type designs. Now the dragon itself is kind of it's basically a mythical creature within the kind of Chinese lore and legend, which is meant to be revered for its benevolence, and it's chasing the flaming pearl. So you can see here on the left the flaming pearl. Let's get even closer so we can have a look properly. So the flaming pearl there is meant to have a mystical power to grant wishes. So there's a lot of kind of mythology and lore and sort of old Chinese ways of thinking that goes into the sort of designs of these bars, which I think is meant to be to appeal to the kind of Oriental market. But there is also a huge uptake in the Western markets for the kind of Oriental style pieces. We've seen previous releases from the Perth Mint, the Dragon and Phoenix coin that really took a lot by storm. So Perth Mint cashing in on quite a lot of successful designs which they've brought out recently, and this is a new one that sort of strikes a real kind of chord, I think, with people because of the difference. And it's being a bar-shaped coin, it is different. It is going to be unique, and for right now anyway. Whether or not this will end up being a series or whether it's just a one-off standoff release, I don't know. What it does, what they do say on the Perth Mint website is that these will be it says annual mintage of 500,000 for the silver and 25,000 for the gold. So that would suggest to me that we may be at the start of a new series of these sort of dragon bars, or at least these sort of bars with the kind of Oriental theme and look. So whether or not we sort of have these annually, I don't know. Probably we will. Perth Mint would be silly not to, because they've proved to be incredibly popular. As you may have seen from the recent big group order that I have arranged, there are a lot of these that have been bought. I think there was something like over 100 of these particular bars that Silver Forum members were buying. The silver ones we can pick up for really cheap value off European dealers, and those are very popular. And my traditional rule of kind of three, is it aesthetically pleasing? And you've got to admit these are pretty aesthetically pleasing. First of all, are they aesthetically pleasing? Secondly, do they have a decent mintage? 500,000 is not the lowest mintage in the world, but at least it's restricted rather than being completely unlimited. Certainly for the gold one, 25,000 is fairly okay. It's nowhere near the kind of Oriental Gold Britannia, which is the mintage of 5,000, but at the same time it's fairly limited. And then, you know, desirability factor being the third piece for me, and this one certainly does have a desirability factor. There's a huge market for these kind of oriental design pieces, both in the Western world and also in sort of the Asian markets. So I think this one is hitting all three little keys. Look at that. Look, I mean, even with the capsule on, the way the light plays off that gold is amazing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on these particular bars. I really do like them. I mean, I love the gold one. And what I really like about the gold one as well, and you don't get this often with gold versions of silver stuff, is that it's actually a pretty decent size compared with the silver version. So the 1 ounce gold sort of, you know, Britannia equivalents to silver Britannias, they are quite significantly smaller. This one seems to be you know, pretty decent size. So we can see there from the profile that it is you know, it's pretty decent size and thickness. But you know, the square footage or square centimetre-age of this is still pretty big, so you still see a great big amount of detail on the bar. So I really like it. I think it's a great successful piece from the Perth Mint. I think it's going to be you know, well sought after. Whether or not this is going to be one of these pieces that has a huge growth of premium, I don't think so, because you know, ultimately they are very cheap bullion at the moment, certainly for the silver versions. The gold versions have a slight premium, small premium, you know, 5–8%, depending on where you buy them from at the moment. But I think they'll hold that premium. Whether or not they'll jump up to sort of 20–30% premiums, probably not. One thing as well, you know, I mentioned that I didn't know whether this person would be sending it off for grading and stuff. I have seen a few of the silver ones, pictures of them graded, and because of their diameter, or length I should say, NGC are putting them in giant slabs, which looks a little bit weird for you know, just sort of 1 ounce bars. So could be an interesting thing to see what happens with them if they're graded. I don't think that's going to be a very desirable thing. You certainly can't have it as a kind of collector's item within your graded collection, so who knows. But anyway, there we go. So there is the Perth Mint 1 ounce dragon bar coin, as you should call it. I don't know, it's an actual coin, not a bar. Really awesome stuff for this gold one. So thank you very much to the forum member who bought that, and I've snuck it into In Focus Friday for you guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. Now next week, as I said at the start of the episode, we will be looking at the Maria Thala, which is a restrike coin, very interesting indeed. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't, so you can check out us having a look at this particular coin next time. This one has got a very interesting story about how I came to have it, so well worth having a look next time. Otherwise, if you like this video, if you like the Perth Mint bars, then please do make sure you hit that like button and share this video on any social media that you have. That would be very helpful indeed. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is a massive thank you for watching, and please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.